This is going to be a brief tutorial on how to use the Waypoints feature in the new Release 11. Now, I don't have Release 11. What I have is the Fsd Beta 10.8. I assume it works the same, but since I don't have Release 11, I can't be sure. So here we go. What I have done is I have put in a destination of Atlanta, Georgia from the Villages, Florida. Now I'm going to narrow this down just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And what you see, it's divided into two parts. The first part is in blue right here, and the second part is in gray. The first part has me stop to do a charge at the supercharger in Valdosta, Georgia. That is the portion that is in blue. And then the rest of it is in gray after I stop. Then when I continue the trip, that next portion until the next stop will turn blue. But let's assume that I don't want to stop in Valdosta, Georgia. I don't want to go to Valdosta, Georgia at all. What I would like to do is I would like to go first to Tallahassee and then from Tallahassee on up to Atlanta. So let's see how that works. There are a couple of ways that you can put in the waypoint. I'm going to first start by putting in the waypoint by simply pointing to a portion on the map. So let's move on over to Tallahassee and let's zoom in a little bit. And I'll simply pick a point somewhere in Tallahassee, right there. And notice that it says add. So what I'm doing now when I pick add is I am adding a waypoint. Now it'll take a second for it to recalculate the navigation. There we go. Now what it does is it has me going from the Villages, Florida to Lake City, Florida, and doing a charge at the supercharger in Lake City. At that point, we see that the gray line now goes across Interstate 10 until we get to Tallahassee. And then from Tallahassee, the gray line goes on up, past Cordell, Georgia, past Macon, Georgia, and on up to Atlanta. So that's how you can put in a waypoint. Okay, let's do something a little closer to home. Let's do a navigation down to our mailbox. Now, for convenience sake, I've simply put our mailbox in as the work address. So I'm going to hit work. And as you can see, it takes me out to Churchill and then straight down to the mailbox. But let's assume that that's not what I want to do. Let's assume that where I'd like to first go is around by Edwards Lane. So I'm going to use an alternate method rather than picking the spot. I'm going to use an alternate method by hitting the three dots down here and then add a stop. This permits me to use any of my favorites or any previous navigation that I already have. So I'm going to pick Edwards Lane. And now it takes me straight to Edwards Lane, and then the gray will take me out to Churchill, and then Churchill down to the mailbox. Okay, so let's begin our drive and see what happens.
Now turn left onto Edwards Lane. In 500 feet, your destination will be on the right. Now your destination is on the right.
So now it's going to bring me to a complete stop. Now the problem now is I can sit here forever. Nothing is going to happen. So let's see what happens if I simply press the accelerator to continue on. The problem is Edwards Lane is still there. So what it's going to do is it's going to take me around in a big circle.
Now turn left onto Churchill Downs. Now turn right onto Ludwell Lane.
Okay, actually what it's
Now
doing
turn
is
left to stay on Ludwell Lane.
slow it down here a little bit. Actually what we're doing is we're turning around in this cul-de-sac, which is kind of neat actually.
Now turn left onto Churchill Downs.
As you can see, now rather than
turn right onto Edwards Lane.
taking me now to our postal box, it's taking me back to Edwards Lane, because see, Edwards Lane never was eliminated even after I arrived. So simply pressing on the accelerator is
Now
not
your
going to
destination
solve
is on
the
the
problem. Now, what will solve the problem is I can put it in park. Once I put it in park, now I can hit continue trip. And now I put it in drive, press the accelerator, and now Edwards Lane is gone,
500 feet,
and
turn
what we
right
have
onto
here
Evelyn
is to turn right on Churchill and then go to the workplace. Okay, now I'm going to stop it right here, take it out, and I'm going to put a waypoint back in. So
Now
we'll see
turn
an
right onto
alternative
Evelyn
method
Loop.
to actually stopping and parking. So we're going to add a stop. Again, we'll put in Edwards Lane. All right. So now it's going to go back to Edwards Lane, and I'll show you an
Now turn
alternative
right onto
method.
Churchill Downs.
All right, it's clear. You can go. There we go.
In 500 feet, turn right onto Edwards Lane.
Okay, so now we're going to turn right on Edwards Lane again. Now, immediately after turning right on Edwards Lane, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the three dots, I'm going to hit Edit Trip, and then I'm going to X out Edwards Lane. And what that does is that it eliminates Edwards Lane. So now if I hit the accelerator and hit done,
in 500 feet,
now
turn
all of a
right
sudden,
onto Evelyn Loop.
now all of a sudden, the work area, which is its final destination, is now available.
Now
So,
turn
as
right
you can
onto
see,
Evelyn Loop.
the two methods are, one, when you arrive at your destination or your first waypoint, simply put it in park, then hit continue when you're ready,
In 500 feet, turn right onto Churchill Downs.
and then simply hit enter, simply hit continue when you are ready, and then hit the accelerator in drive, and then you will be at the next waypoint.
Downs.
The other alternative is when you arrive or right prior to arriving, hit the three dots at the bottom, and then pick Edit Trip, and then pick the X beside the waypoint, either prior to getting there or after you get there. Then once you have eliminated that waypoint, then you can press the accelerator and it will continue on to the next waypoint or to your final destination. This is obviously not the very best scenario. What I really would like to see, and I hope they do improve it, is I would like to see when you add a waypoint, it simply puts in there, do you want to stop at that waypoint, yes or no? And then it knows when it arrives at the waypoint to then either give you the option to say
500 feet, your
continue,
destination will be on the right.
or it will simply continue and eliminate that waypoint. That would make it ideal, and then they would have true waypoints.
Now your destination is on the right.
For me personally, while testing the beta versions of the software, it's going to make life a lot easier because it gives me a lot more flexibility rather than having to constantly put in a new destination. So I really like what they have done here. They've done a good job. I don't think it's quite finished. I think they can improve on it. But I really want to thank them and congratulate them on giving us this long-awaited update to